landing pages. How many of you do any internet marketing?
I do.
Mm-hmm.
I do.
Okay. So what kind of things do you do to generate leads now online?
Well, I've got two things. One is called Agent Leads. That's generated me about 760 leads. Most of them at first were buyers, but then when everything shut down, the people can't get here from Canada because I'm marketing to Canada and the Northeast USA. And then I got a new system that's working really, really well. It's called Street Text. And I'm working with them, and I'm getting a lot of CMA requests and all of that, which is local, which is just within my area. So that's, and it goes into two separate CRMs.
CRMs. Okay, so you're paying them to generate leads, right? Is that correct?
I'm paying the Facebook ads every day, but I pay them for the system to have the funnel going. That's
okay.
What I pay.
So yeah, so that's kind of along the lines of where we want to talk about. So you can pay, for instance, when somebody goes to Zillow and they click on a property or they do a search, they go into a property and they're filling out information because they want more of that. That property sheet is kind of what we call a landing page. And so there's a couple ways you can do things. Is you can pay a service to generate and drive leads to a website or to generate traffic for you, or you can create your own landing pages. And an example would be Tyson's currently doing what we call virtual open houses. And when you generate a video or a virtual open house and you want somebody to watch that, what you want to give some information, but you want to get some information. Does that make sense? And so as we're creating a landing page, it's basically to generate information. Same thing when we hold an open house, we want them to sign in. So when they go to your website, you want them to sign in. If you're going to give them any information, you want to get some information from them. Just like the old days when they'd call us on a Homes Illustrated magazine ad. The idea was to basically get information. You want to give them some, but you want to get their information so you can work with them. So this is kind of a way to do it online. And I'll show you here when I get to the page. You guys see my screen or no?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you see killer landing pages?
Yes.
Yep.
All right, let's go here too. All right, so what we want to talk about basically is a way to create content or to create things that the consumer wants, more information, and a way to capture their information so you have a lead that you can follow up with. It's basically designed to get the consumer to raise their hand, so to speak, that they're interested in either buying or selling real estate. Let's see here. Okay, so we're going to talk about the mechanics of the landing page, the 7 steps to crafting a landing page, the tools and tools to produce a landing page, because how many of you are web developers? No? None of you? All right. So we're going to talk about tools to basically utilize or systems to utilize, similar to what Alex just said, to create those pages so that you can generate those leads. And then we're going to talk about some landing page examples. And so landing pages are, the landing pages are the key to conversion, turning traffic from your website into leads. And so what is a landing page? A landing page is any page a visitor can arrive at or land on, including home pages. A standalone web page distinct from your main website that has been designed for a single objective. So that means it doesn't even have to be part of your website. It can just be one single page. A web page with specific content designed to attract website and visitors traffic. So this is the homepage of our Boomtown website. This is a sort of a landing page because they come to this page and they can search for property, right? But there's distinction between your homepage and your landing page. Your home page is a generic place that they can come for. A landing page is they're coming to that one specific page for specific information. So if you were to run an ad on Facebook that said a free buyer's report, you don't want them to click and go to your landing page or your home page. You want them to click and go right to where that report is, because that's what they're interested in. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So here would be an example of a landing page. Thinking of selling, find out what your home is worth. So specifically, they're there to find out the value of their property. Here'd be another one. Be the first to know. Get market reports, new listings, and even pre-marketed listings. So this would be an example of a buyer's landing page, right? They're basically signing up for information. They want to get market reports, they want new listings, and they want the pre-market listings. Your website is currently able to do that, I'm sure. The MLS is currently able to do that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Drip campaigns. And so the idea is, how do you get them to sign up on that that's most attractive? So if you were to run an ad on Facebook that said, thinking of buying a home, be the first to know, you'd be likely to get somebody to click on it that would be interested in buying a home. Another example of a landing page is a property page, right? So if you were to run an ad specifically on 5520 Latrobe Bluff, you wouldn't want them to go to your main page of your website. You'd want them to go directly to the property page, because that's what they're interested in. Make sense?
Yes.
Okay. And so another thing you can market is free reports. These used to be done in the old days when I got my license, and the old days when Alex got his license, when you would have 800 numbers. They would basically say, hey, get a free home buyer's guide. And you'd call this 800 number. And the 800 number would capture their phone number, which would give you a lead to call them back. So the concept of this is, instead of having them call an 800 number, let's take this online, same thing. You're going to run an ad basically saying, hey, you want your free home buyer's guide? They click on it, they would come to this landing page. When they click on download this guide, it should ask them for what? Anybody?
Phone, email.
Yeah, email, phone number, stuff like that. A way to get them that information, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so kind of the client experience that we look at is, we're here in this side where they're visiting your website and they're doing research online, and you want to be that first contact. And this is a way to do that. And so we have our landing page here in the middle, and how do we get people to it? Because if you just create a page, people aren't just going to find it. It's not going to come up in searches. So these are the ways that we can drive traffic to it. Obviously paid ads. So you could pay Google pay-per-clicks. You could do paid ads on Instagram. You could do paid ads on Facebook. Just about anywhere you want to run an ad, you can do that. Organic, social, which would be your social media. Your affiliates can drive them there, like your lenders and stuff. Your blog. Do any of you do a newsletter now?
No.
Okay, so a newsletter would be another great way to do it. Network, and obviously print ads. Now, in theory, a landing page is a great thing, but it can, at the end of this, you'll probably be like, okay, well, sounds good, but I don't know where to start. And so I want to show you actually how to build a landing page, not actually online, but the setup to get to the point where you're going to plug it into the system. And we're going to talk about the 7 steps to crafting a landing page. The first one, which is design content for the resource based on what your customer wants. What does that mean?
What you put out has to be something someone wants.
There has to be interest. There has to be value to it, right? If there's no value, how likely are they going to be to put their real email address in?
Unlikely.
You're trading information for their information.
Correct. So, but the thing is if it's something I may be interested in, I don't really care if I get it or not, I'm going to use my spam email. If it's something that I truly want, okay, or something I was paying for, I'd probably use my real email, right? And so we want to make sure that we do that. So some of the ideas we could use for buyers and sellers is property searches. That's been around forever. To create that, those landing pages are very, very easy because they're already built in your website. Each property on your website has a landing page with more information on it. You've got home buyers guides. How many of you have a home buyers guide? No?
I do.
Okay, very good. And then you got featured property pages. You've got home buyers pre-offer checklists. You've got negotiating strategies for buyers to get more home for less, off-market homes or for sub owners. If you were working with the buyer, do you think they'd want to know about off-market homes?
Yeah.
Things before they hit. So these are things of value, right? Market updates, home buyer direct program. Sellers would be what's my home worth, home seller guides, home seller pre-marketing checklist, and so on. Something that is going to cause a potential seller to basically click on something that's basically raising their hand to say, I may be interested in selling my home. Okay, so here would be an example of a 14-page home buyer's guide. All right, and the good news is I'm going to give you a link to this home buyer's guide so you can customize it to you.
Okay.
Okay, a home seller's guide, 10-page home seller's guide. I'm also going to give you a link to a template to customize that. So at the end of this, you're going to be able to have a home seller's guide and a home buyer's guide that you can start to market immediately. My home didn't sell, now what? Who would be interested in that?
Expireds.
Expireds, right? Or maybe a for sale by owner, maybe. So again, I'm going to go ahead and give you a template for that too. So there'll be 3 things right there that you'll be able to just go in, add your logo, add your information, and utilize immediately. So once we identify what we want to basically give away or what we want to exchange information-wise for their information, we've got to actually write the page copy to entice the viewers to exchange their contact information. And so here is a format to basically help you do that. And so we want to start with a headline, which is something that's going to grab their attention to cause them to click on the ad. Subheading, a description, a call to action, and authority and social proof. And so your headline is something that makes a promise about the resource, what the resource will do for the viewer. Promises should be based on the benefit the consumer will want. A good question to ask is, what does the customer really want from me? Okay, so if I was marketing, Tyson, if I was marketing open houses, right, virtual open houses, what is something that would be a benefit, or what would the consumer want? Why would they want to click on that property? You see what I'm saying? And then your subheadline would be the promise you make in the headline to the resource by providing a secondary promise on how the resource will deliver on a promise made in the headline. And I'm going to go show you some examples of this too. And then your description is what's included in the resource, if there is a section or chapters including, so it's kind of a table of contents. And then your call to action. Simply click here to receive your free report. Authority, if you have any points of credibility or authority to help the viewer build trust with you. Examples include confidence banners, awards, accolades. How many of you have seen an ad where at the bottom it'll say, as seen on TV, Fox News, CNN, those types of things? That's an authority banner, basically saying since they were previewed on Fox, or since they were on CNN, or they've been on TV, they have credibility, automatic credibility.
Mhm.
Okay, and then your social proof, the viewers are asking questions. Do I trust you enough? So these would be where maybe you put a testimonial or two or a review or two on the ad or on the landing page as well. And so keep in mind, these are just the landing page. This isn't the ad that's going to drive them to it. This is what, when they land on that page, what is it they're going to get in that report? Why would I want to give you my information? So here would be an example. Headline, how much is your Las Vegas home worth? Subheadline, instant online estimate of your home's value. Description, here's what your estimate includes. A price range of your home's value, based on the homes recently sold in your neighborhood, actual sales prices of the most recently sold homes similar to yours, comparative information to assess the difference between your home and the others that have sold. And then call to action, get my personalized estimate. Okay, and you might, on this one, change it to get your free automated estimate or something. And the authority, member of the Greater Las Vegas Association of Realtors, NAR, anything like that that you can utilize. And then social proof, the signature team is great to have all your needs in buying a house under one roof. They all communicate, so there are fewer issues in just making house buying less scary and stressful. See what I'm saying? So here's all the content that would basically go onto your landing page. And you can follow this format to write any landing page. Landing page for a home buyer would be this: get Las Vegas homes you want at a price you can live with. 14-page home buyer guide shows you the strategies and tactics. Then your description, your call to actions, get your free copy here. And then your social proof and your authority. Landing page for the home seller's guide, same thing. So these, basically we've written the content for all three of the guides that I'm going to give you. So you really have no excuse not to go out and put it together and put that. And then step 7 is to craft your landing pages, or step 3, which is design, configure your landing page on your website or a landing page app. Okay, so there are lots of different apps that you can use for landing pages. Alex just mentioned one. I've used Lead Pages. Here's a blog that talks about how to set them up. But the idea is, if you use a landing page website like leadpages.com, it's a subscription, but all you got to do is, they've got templates. And so all you're doing is plugging the stuff into the templates, whether it be photos or text. And then they also have the ability to capture the lead capture, the pop-ups, and where they would put in their email address and stuff like that.
But that's what I have with the street text. I have about 25 different templates, and I can, where I can modify my own, take one of those, and then put my own stuff in. So it makes it nice and easy, because then you're not trying to reinvent stuff.
Right, exactly. And they've also been proven. So they're pleasing and they're more engaging, that people are going to click onto them. But just because you create your ad on your landing page doesn't mean it's going to work the first time. And sometimes the color of the buttons, the color of the headlines, and different things like that can change the feeling people get when they hit your landing page. And so here's kind of a guide of the feelings that people get, or off of different colors. And you'll also get a link to all these slides. So the recommended tool that I've used in the past is Lead Pages, leadpages.net. Okay, it is a subscription, but they've got templates, they've got integrations. Integrations can integrate right into your CRM or your contact management system that you're using. And that's important, because if you're getting leads in multiple sources, multiple places, your email, maybe on this contact management system, the back office of this website, the back office of this page, how likely are you to be able to organize all those and follow up with them? So here would be a simple landing page that was created in Lead Pages. How much is your home worth in the San Diego area? Send me my free estimate. They're going to click on that. It's going to ask them for the information, and then then they're able to so they'll put in their address and all that stuff. And that's where you've got the information. So search over 4 LA counties, properties from here. Request the best deals in town. How much is your home in San Diego worth? Get my personalized estimate. See the Fox News 44, all that. That's your confidence banner. Same thing, searching, selling expert teams they don't have to be anything major. It's not like a big, huge website. These are just templates that are going to cause people to click on them and give the information. And you can see the confidence banner down below. How many of you could use that? Every one of you could use that one, right?
Mhm.
Okay. So here would be a landing page on a certain property. So number 4, we'd want to connect with people, connect people who opt in to receive communication to the following sequences. So opt in to download the seller's guide, free instant access. So they're going to put in their information, right? Once they opt in, we have the ability to market to them, correct? Okay. So we want to, how do we drive so now we've got that. We've got the opt-in button on our page. And again, that's all created on the service like leadpages.net or the one Alex uses, or there's many more out there. Now you want to drive traffic to that landing page. Okay, like we talked about, paid, organic, social, affiliates, your blog. Here's an example of a newsletter. Then you need, how do you guys currently email or stay in contact with your clients?
Through the CRM.
Okay, so are you let's say you wanted to send out a newsletter. Do any of you do like email marketing, like anything besides properties? Like
Yes.
newsletters, recipe cards, all that kind of stuff. Stuff we
Oh,
used to do
yeah.
by mail.
Yes,
What service do you guys use for that?
I use
MailChimp.
MailChimp?
Yeah, I stick to the email marketing. Each of the systems that I'm using has an automated system in there so that as soon as they get on there, they get an email. Then, next day they get another email. 3 days later, they get something else, and so on and so on. And I can modify that and change the frequency and all that.
Yep.
One of the ones that I use, as soon as one of them doesn't send email. It sends an email, but it uses text format. So what happens is as soon as the customer gets the text and they respond to the text from me saying, here's your list of homes under 250,000 in Daytona, immediately stops the auto thing. So now I can interact with that customer so it doesn't look really stupid.
Right.
That I get the automatic plus so it shuts off the automatic, which is kind of neat. I like that.
Perfect. And so he's using technology to help leverage and communicate. And so another tool that you might want to look at is called getresponse.com. And GetResponse can help you create emails, autoresponders, landing pages, and run webinars. So paid would be Facebook. Organic would be your blog. How many of you guys are running a blog?
Nope.
How come?
Don't know how.
Don't know how? Okay, that's a good reason.
I use KCM.
No, it is. What's that?
I use KCM. They have a blog.
Okay. Are you putting that stuff on your website?
Not all of them I can, but one, yes.
Okay, because here's the thing. Why you'd want to do a blog is it's more content for your website. It's more of ability for people to find you on the internet when they do searches. If you're writing a blog on the 14 mistakes that buyers make, and you have a guide on the 14 mistakes more in depth, somebody writes that blog, you could have a call to action in your blog to basically go to your landing page to sign up for it. Okay. I believe your Simplest website has the ability to do blogs. It might be the upgraded version, but blogging is important in what you do. But you don't have to do it through your website. You can do it other places. Social would be on Facebook, Twitter, etc. You don't have to even pay all the time to run an ad, right? You could put it on your business page. You could send out tweets through Twitter and LinkedIn and everything else to try to drive people there. So you can still get free advertising for your landing page as well. You're just going to get more exposure if you do paid. Your affiliates be your lenders and your CPAs. You got print ads, which be your neighborhood newsletters, different things like that. Number 6, we want to improve our landing page experience. With lead pages, in most services, you have, if you look up there in the top, a test. You can actually create the same landing page with different colors and different things like that and track to see which ones are working better. Because just changing the banner color could make a difference of people actually clicking on it. So if you want to run split tests, basically these are some of the things you can do. Try different promises, different headlines, different benefits, different description or bullet points, different call to action, different button colors. But once you have your content, right, you've spent all this time editing this home buyer's guide and you're going to push this out. You want to find a landing page that's basically going to get the best engagement or the best return for you. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Seems like a lot of work though, doesn't it?
Yes.
Well, the other way to do this is to pay thousands of dollars to other people to do it for you.
Well, so Brandon, just quickly, I think what's important to understand here is this is something that should be in your calendar, part of your time block every week. I mean, this is part of being in the real estate business. And so, yeah, it does sound a little complicated and it does sound like it's a daunting task, but most things that we do in life are daunting the first couple of times. So if it's time blocked in your calendar that you can spend an hour a week or 30 minutes a couple times a week, whatever the time frame looks like, this becomes routine. It doesn't no longer become daunting. It's only daunting because we don't try to do it. We don't put it as part of our business plan and we don't make it part of our business. So
right.
Get it in your calendar and make it a part of your business every week and it becomes super easy to do.
And I'm also giving you the complete overview of everything, right? And so where would you start? Start with the guide. Start with the information that you want to put out. Put something together that's of value that somebody's going to want. Now, even if you did nothing with a landing page for that guide, could you use that guide for anything else?
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Right? So would it hurt you to put that together?
No.
Right? So now you've got another piece of marketing material to give every one of your buyers you work with. Now, once you get that, then we can say, how could we generate leads off of this? And this is where your coach can come in and help work with you, is basically saying, okay, now what direction do we go with this now? So the important thing is not to feel overwhelmed by all this. This is a step-by-step process that can take you through it. Once you create one, then it's easier to create the next one. And it gets easier and it gets easier and it gets easier. And as you start to sell more and maybe you bring on an administrative assistant or something else, this might be one of the qualifications that you're looking for in that assistant to be able to help do these things for you. Okay? So it doesn't mean you have to spend, 24 hours behind the computer every day trying to create this stuff. In fact, I wouldn't want you to do that, because if all you do is spend your time developing this stuff, then you're never going to have any time to sell anything. Right? So like Todd said, just put it in your calendar for about an hour a day to work on how am I going to start generating leads. And this is a way to do it very cost effectively, instead of paying somebody else to go out and not knowing, you're paying thousands of dollars to Zillow, or you pay some marketing firm, $1,000 a month to run Facebook ads for you, and you may or may not get any leads. Or you subscribe to all these other lead services where it seems like the only time you really get leads is right before it's time to renew the contract, right? So this is a way for you to control that a little bit more. And so that's kind of what I wanted to open your eyes to there. And then cultivate your audience and build trust. Once you get a lead, and this would be whether it's through one of your own landing pages or some way else, how do you cultivate that relationship and how do you convert them? Because, 85% of people that are online searching for property today aren't ready to buy today. Statistics show they're 4 to 6 months out. Now, the good news is there's 10 to 15% now that are ready to buy now. And that's why we make those calls immediately when a lead comes in, because we're looking for those. But the frustration with leads comes when the fact that they never call you back. They never respond. These are junk leads, right? And that's not the case though, because they've cared enough to at least raise their hand and say, I may be buying a property in the near future. And so we need to be able to say, hey, how do we communicate with them or engage with them so that when they're ready to make contact with an agent, we're that agent, okay? And the good news is I've got some letters and some email templates that you guys can utilize. But when you get that lead, like Alex said, when the autoresponders are going out, you want to be making sure that things are going out to them on a regular basis, because they aren't necessarily going to return your call. It's not going to be an opportunity for you to try to turn that lead. You're going to still attempt to, but you got to have drips on them. One of the other things that we use is what? We use property drips. So somebody comes in and fills out, hey, I'm looking for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath in Summerlin, up to $500,000 with the pool. That every time a property comes on the market, it goes out to them. What does that look like? It looks like you're doing work, you're researching, and you're sending them stuff, right? So we want to make sure that we're hitting their inbox with your newsletter, with the different things to try to move them through that process, or to create an opportunity for them to talk to you so you can identify where they are in the process. So another resource that I'll put up there is 11-point email sequence for sellers. And so there'll be some 11 different emails in there for you guys to customize or do whatever you want with.
That'd be good.
11-point email sequence for home buyers. Same thing. This opt-in monster, I like. It's another tool that you can utilize for your website. And what it does is it has the banners and stuff that'll pop up on your website. It works separate. It works in conjunction with your website, but it's not part of your website. So have you ever been on a website where the thing comes up, can I help you? Or you interested in just a pop-up or a thing that comes up? That's what this can do for you for your websites, which again can drive them to a landing page. So if somebody was on a page on your website, which was giving information on purchasing a home, a banner could pop up basically saying, hey, get your free report on the 13 things you need to do, or the 13 mistakes that most buyers make that cost them thousands of dollars, in hopes that we can grab their information. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So the resources, so you know, are on our website, therealestatepad.com, under video training, and then under the thing, there'll be a place for the where the tools are, and I'll just show you real quick. Get this down.
What was that webpage?
Therealestatepad.com. Let me go. I'll show you. I've already got them actually loaded up for you. So under video training, you can see I haven't put the video in from today's call, but the slides and material are all here. Just in Google Drive, and everything's there. Okay?
Brandon,
Yes.
one other thing that I've started doing now is I used to use BombBomb, and So what I did is I signed back up for BombBomb, and I'm sending emails now to the customers that are asking me for an evaluation of their home.
Yep.
And one of the emails, the first emails I send them is say, okay, here's an overview of your property. Here's what Zillow says. Here's what Realtor.com says. As you can see, nobody really knows exactly what the house is unless I get into your house. And then what happens is, I ask for an appointment, and I put a video. I shoot a 27-second video that says, "Hey, how you doing? This is Alex Sidek. I'm right on getting your CMA and all that. But I just thought I'd send you a quick information about what the internet thinks." And that seems to work really good. I'm getting some responses. I got a couple of responses this morning, and the BombBomb, I signed up for their basic program, which is like $49 a month or something like that. And it throws the video in there. What's
Right.
really nice about it also, the second video I send them, if I don't get a response, what it says is I pull up again Zillow and Trulia, and then there's a feature on the BombBomb that you can record the screen. And I get on there and I said, "Hey, how you doing? I found your home. Here's what Zillow says." And I go to that tab. It pulls that tab up, shows the picture and everything. It says it's 972 square feet, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, and it's worth $165,000. But then here is Realtor.com. It says 1,100 square feet. So I'm kind of confused. Could you please set it straight for me? And I'm getting good response off of that.
Oh,
And
That's
I
great.
do a little video. So,
well,
and it injects it. I tried doing the videos another way, but the problem was that I had to attach the video. People wouldn't open my thing. Okay, they would not open it because they don't want to open up a link. People are too afraid now with all the links. So
Right.
by putting and embedding the video right into the email, they see me so they can see my face and everything, and they're more likely. I'm just looking at some of the stuff, and it says open, 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 and they're opening my video. So I just thought I'd mention that.
Right, and so that's good. So BombBomb, Constant Contact, MailChimp, GetResponse. I mean, there's a ton of them out there. But like Alex says, one of the benefits of BombBomb is you can put video in there, and they make it very easy to do video. And they make it very easy to do a newsletter. They got templates already in there that you can do. You guys get the signature newsletter, right?
Mhm.
That's all done through BombBomb, and that's a template that's in BombBomb. So there's work that goes into setting up the content in those, but at least you don't have to create the layout. And then the other thing is, like Alex said, is to utilize things that are going to cause them to engage, questions that will cause them to engage. That was, to me, that's great. If you can find a discrepancy between two sites on their property, they're more likely to respond and correct it, right, when you lay that out for them.
Mhm.
I thought that was really cool what they recommended, the way they recommended it to do that. And I got some examples from other people, and it's really good because especially when there's a big discrepancy. Zillow says 200 and Realtor.com says 250, and it's a huge discrepancy.
Yeah.
Or the size,
So Brandon, there's been a lot of studies done, and human nature is to correct bad information. If you're always sending accurate information, you'll rarely hear from somebody. No one's ever going to say, "Hey, thanks for sending me good information." The second that you send them bad information, they're going to correct you right away. And so if you really want to get a hold of somebody, send them $1 million homes when they ask you for $300,000 houses, and they'll respond and go, "Hey, why are you sending me $1 million?" I mean, I had a girl on my team that had a double masters, one from UNLV and one from LSU. And when I would illustrate this example, I would say, so Zena got a master's at UNLV, and she also got a master's at Mississippi State. Well, I don't know if you know, but LSU and Mississippi State, that's kind of a pretty huge rivalry. So she would just like literally stand up out of her seat from a dead sleep and go, no, LSU, LSU. And so if I hadn't said, and she would not have said a word. So just know that if you've tried to get a hold of somebody 4 or 5 times and they just haven't responded, send them some fake information or something that you know that's not true. And I bet you 8 out of 10 times they'll respond with and correct you on what that looks like.
You know what's really interesting, Todd? That kind of triggered a thought in my head. When I was selling real estate full time and I'd go around and I was looking for houses to sell and couldn't find the owner or something, I just stick my sign on the lawn. And I'll tell you, within a week, somebody called me and said, "What the heck is your sign doing on my lawn? My house is not for sale." I was able to find the owner because as I stuck my sign on there for sale, and then I'd say, "Oh, I'm sorry, it was the wrong house. I'm really, really sorry. But by the way, do you want to sell?" And I used to get leads.
Not the most recommended avenue, but very creative.
Probably not in today's world. That might not be a good idea. And by the way, Alex, you are a full-time real estate agent and a dieter. That's basically the only two things that you do. So I think
Is anybody using anything similar to a landing page to generate leads? Tyson, Shannon?
So I was just going to say that and Todd actually showed me this, the signature NV, if you put your name at the end of it right, Todd, it's basically a home evaluation landing page within the website, totally free, and you can just run that. Todd showed me that, I believe, a month or two ago.
Yes. On the Boomtown site?
Yeah, so the signaturenv.com.
Mhm.
And then what was it, Todd? You put dot and then your name?
no, //
your name.
Yeah, I
So-
signed up.
So Brandon, the CRM that we use has many of these tools built in. In fact, there's a section where there's a part of in every page of our CRM, we can actually hover over the upper left corner and it will give us a short link to that actual landing page. So it can be a property, it can be how much is your home worth, it can be, the things buyers do wrong or whatever's on our webpage. And then with that link, we can share it to any social media platform, which then becomes a landing page because when they click on it, it takes them back to that page on our CRM and gathers their information. And the slickest way to do it is through Facebook, because when they come over through Facebook, it says continue with Facebook and they click yes, and it gathers all of their Facebook information without them having to type anything in. And so the landing pages have really come a long ways, even with many of the CRM and the front-facing websites that are used out there today. So
Which CRM do you use?
we use one called Sierra Interactive. It's not super expensive. It's not cheap. It's really pretty good. It's close to Sync, but it's about a third of the cost of Sync.
But if you look at that right there, just the amount of time that just saved him in creating landing pages and made it so it's a point that it's usable. The technology's out there, right? And so I would write that down and take a look at that because it could make it very easy.
What's that page again?
It's Sierra Interactive. Sierra Interactive.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that, Todd.
The other thing to understand, I think, about landing pages is almost every CRM now, whether it's Lion Desk, which is $29 a month, like that's pretty dirt cheap. Lion Desk, you can't really do much better than $30 a month. And every one of them nowadays have the ability to do a landing page for every one of your listings. So you take a listing, it will create a landing page, and then it gives you a link, and you can go out and share that link at different social media platforms and drive people back to your CRM, which is where you gather that information Brandon was talking about at the beginning. It's kind of a trade-off. You give some information, you try to get some information. What you're trying to get is their contact information, right? And so every single CRM that I've seen lately, I don't know of a single one except maybe Prospects, which is the brand new one that GLVR just put out. They all provide a way to do landing pages. Some of them are just part of the website, and some of them cost $10 or $15, but you have options. I think the key is, I think you have options.
Yeah, I signed up for Home ASP using the Turkey Suites. And then I also use IDX Home Search on and that links my Facebook and my Instagram accounts.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Tons of technology out there.
So now that you have those things, and you have a place to capture that information, the next step would be, how are you going to push that out? How are you going to market that? How are you going to drive traffic to it?
Hmm.
You see what I mean? So you figure out your content, you build out the page, then you figure out how you're going to get people to it.
Yeah, I pay Facebook advertising to push it out. So
Do you manage that, or do you have someone else?
I've got somebody else that does it.
Okay.
Yeah, I do $20 a week.
Mhm. Is it working?
Yeah, it is. My next thing is to connect with all those contacts now. So
Very good.
So Brandon, do we have a second to talk about internet lead contacts and kind of what that looks like?
Yep.
So don't get super upset when it's difficult to get a hold of internet leads, because like Brandon said, 7 to 9 months is their general germination time. It takes about 7 to 9 months. In fact, when people join my team, I dump 200 people into their database immediately that signed up on our website between 6 to 9 months ago. And they start to call and communicate with those people. Understand that internet leads typically, because they have so much information available online, they literally can learn everything about any house online. Like back in the day when they needed a realtor to tell them what the square footage of a house was, or how many bedrooms does it have, or let me see the pictures. Now that's kind of gone to the wayside because of the internet, right? So understand that it takes a little longer to get a hold of people, to get them to respond to you, because they don't need you right now. But when they need you, you need to be the person that's in front of them, whether that's through some type of drip system, through some type of mailing system, through like my team, we send properties. Like I don't send anything but properties to people. It has our picture on it, all that good stuff. But when we can gauge kind of how their interest is going based on how many times they click on an email that we send, how many times they actually click on the website and go into the website. So just don't get frustrated with internet leads, because it takes time to get them to actually respond to you.
Consistency.
Yeah.
what about the new CRM that is offered by the MLS? What's that? Prospects.
Prospects, yeah.
Is that
I think-
worthwhile?
I've done a little research with Prospect. I've used it a little bit. I say this and know that I say this. I've used multiple CRMs. I've used literally what is quote unquote the industry's best CRM, all the way down to, maybe the worst CRM that's out there. It does some great things. And if you don't have a CRM, you should absolutely be using it, because it's free. And it is a place to be able to do some things that you can't do. So you can do some things systematically, like you can push one button and communicate with 200 people. And that's what you really need to be able to do in this business, because this theory of great customer service and calling and talking to every single person every single day, you just can't do it. You can do it. I'm sorry, I should have said that. It doesn't produce the results that you want. And I know that because you've bought coaching, you've hired coaching, you're here, you want greater results than that. So you need systems that will allow you to communicate with people in multiple ways, multiple times, with the ease of clicking a button, or even it does it automatically. Prospects will do that stuff. So if you don't have anything, absolutely please use that. My next suggestion is spend the $30 on LionDesk, because my personal opinion, it probably has the best bang for the buck. That's the honest truth. The only reason I don't.
What was that, $30?
It's $29 a month for a single person. Yeah, I mean,
LionDesk.
LionDesk.
I don't use it because it doesn't have a front-facing website out to the public, and I like to be able to drive people to my website, and that's kind of the dividing factor. Does it have a front-facing or not front-facing website? If that makes, and we could talk more about that at another
What do you
time.
mean front facing? I don't understand.
The public can see it.
So like if you're using like Boomtown or Sync, you have a website, they click on it, all that stuff dumps into the back end, which would be your
CRM
CRM.
is actually the backside that the public can't see. That's only what the agent can see. The
That's
front
the
side-
power. That's the power of the website. Actually, is
Yep.
being able to manage those leads in the proper way.
Yes.
And then your website has to be pleasing and a good experience for the consumer to use it and to sign up. Because if they're not getting information and there's no value to your site, they're less likely to input their information. But if there's value to it, they're more likely to give you good information because they want to continue to use it.
So what about Simplest?
Simplest is the same thing. It's got a consumer-facing website, which is the simplest site, and then it's got a CRM. The only drawback to the back end of Simplest is it's very infancy stages. It's not as robust as a lot of these others out there, but yet you can't beat the cost either. And then then Simplest is also geared more to marketing your listings in a way that you can get more listings, because you're showing in your listing presentation, you're showing the marketing you're going to do specifically for that website or for that property. And so it's a listing tool. Does that make sense? Whereas some of these other ones are really geared a lot better to generating buyer leads.
So Sierra would be the best one to go to.
Well, if Todd's using it.
Not necessarily, no. It depends on you and how you're using it and you need to really do some research on CRMs to decide what works best for you. It works best for me at my team because I have other people that use it besides myself. And so just know that you've got to do some research on CRMs to see what you're looking for and what works for you.
And the other thing is, it doesn't matter how great it is. If you don't use it, it's no good.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So.
And there's a lot of YouTube reviews of all the different CRMs, and they will give pros and cons. And so you can watch those reviews and see what you think applies to your business and how you're operating to kind of help streamline you.
Yeah, find the YouTube videos that are independent. Don't go look at the YouTube video that was done by Follow Up Boss, because they'll compare themselves to 5 different things, and guess what? They're the best. So find the independent people that are doing them, and you're right. There's some great. In fact, that is where I found Sierra Interactive is through a YouTube video I was watching.
Yeah. So the important thing I wanted you guys to get from today's call is really that there is a method to generating online leads, and that's where your landing pages come in. Sometimes they're already built in your website. Sometimes you build them by yourself. But I also want you to think outside the box from just running ads on properties. I think when that first started, that was unique, and you could get a lot of play off of that when you post a property on Facebook and different things like that. But I think now, if you're using some of these reports or other reasons for people to contact you, you're going to get better engagement or better leads. Any questions or?
Yeah, I have one. Todd, when you were talking about the landing page for your Sierra Interactive, I've seen that before with Mark posting it, and it links to a website, I think, Find Your Las Vegas Home. So is that linked to your website, or is that the one it generates for the page?
Yeah, no, that's my website, Finding Las Vegas Homelistings.com. That's the front-facing public view website, and that's where we go to get those links. And then it will drive them back to, that home page or that what's your home worth or whatever, a property landing page or whatever they actually use from the page. So that's our web page address.
But that's
okay, because
go ahead.
Because what I've been trying to figure out is, what I love about that lead form fill out is the autofill with the Facebook information, because it's already on Facebook. Because the hardest thing is once you're asking for all this information, you get incomplete stuff where someone just backs out of it completely. Does anybody know of any other programs besides running it through Sierra Interactive that does the Facebook autofill?
Boomtown.
Boomtown does. Sync does. I would tell you that probably every single CRM that has a front-facing website, a public side face, I would tell you that all of them have that function now.
Okay.
A year ago they didn't, but today I would say that any ad that's ran on Facebook through one of those CRMs absolutely auto collects all the information.
Okay.
And if you're running Facebook ads specifically on Facebook, you can also, there's a way to set that up so that it collects that information right from Facebook as well. So you can do that through Facebook if you don't have a CRM that does that. You just have to go in and learn how to use Facebook ads.
Okay.
And again, to Shannon's point, you can YouTube that and see many videos about how to do that.
Okay, thank you.
If you guys need help with this stuff, we're here for you. So
I need help.
we're not here for you, Wayne.
Okay.
Just kidding. No, absolutely though. I mean, if you do, we can get on other Zoom calls. We can get together as groups and work through this. The important thing is how do we generate business? You know, everybody looks to buy leads, and sometimes it's right in front of you. And we have the ability to generate leads.
Yeah, free
Mhm.
of charge. Takes a little bit of time block it in your calendar.
Yeah. Everything is either time or money.
Mhm.
So anybody have anything else they want to add or questions?
Brandon, I have a question. So the links that you're going to send for the home buyer guide and the seller guide, we can just copy and paste those links to our Facebook, to our email signature, things like that, or no?
No. So I'm on the website. There's on the real estate pad under the copy of the training
Mm-hmm.
is let me just share this with you real quick. That's a good question, but it's important that you'll go into the video training and you'll click on slides and material,
Mm-hmm.
and it'll bring you up to just all the material here. Then what you do is you'll click on it and then you'll download it, and it'll download into a Word document. In that Word document, then you will put in your information. Okay. So
Okay.
it's not something that, it's not ready the way it is. And you don't want to just send them to a generic thing. You can see right here, it says your logo.
Mm-hmm.
And in these pictures, and when you pull up in Google, it won't be formatted properly, but when you download it into Word, it's formatted. You just have to put your information in.
Okay.
And once you have that, then you save that to your computer, and then you have it. So if you need to share a link, you can upload it in Google Drive, or you can put it in Dropbox or somewhere else where you have a link to it.
Mm-hmm.
Or you could talk to your web guy about putting it on your internet or your website. But I would use things like Dropbox or Google where you can have a share link.
Okay.
But you'll use your links, not mine, because mine are for you guys.
Okay.
Good question. But if you need help with that, let me know.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thanks.
I think if enough people wanted to actually do that, we could set up some, I don't know, maybe a lunch or somewhere and hang out and bring your computers, and we'll talk about how to fill it out. What are some of the things you can put in there, and get them ready for you so you could actually put them into action.
That'd be great.
Yeah, that'd be great.
All right. Todd will get that scheduled.
What time is lunch and where?
I just added another appointment to Brandon's calendar.
Alex, you'll need to fly in.
Yes.
Careful, don't book your
Can't do it
ticket
till you
yet.
get here, so make the
Yeah, I
plan.
was just gonna book something, but I don't know what day it is, so.
Yeah. So, but no, it's good. But download them and look at them. And then, like you said, if you're having issues with it, then let us know. We'll all get together and we'll help you get them set up, because the tools are only good if you use them.
Right.
I went in there, Brandon, and it shows you have to request access.
Okay, we'll request access and I'll give it to you.
I did.
There you go. All right. That's so I know that somebody that you guys even are using it.
Mhm.
Great information. Thank you. That was
It's overwhelming, I know, but all right. You should have access now, Brandy. Okay. Anybody have any issues? Just know we're here for you. Any other questions or? All right.
Thanks, guys. That was helpful.
All right.
Thank you.
We'll see you.
Take care, guys.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye.